So some more common mistakes. Number one, it's worth to see. This is a mistake with gerunds and infinitives, so please go to my lesson about gerunds and infinitives if you don't know what I'm talking about. It's worth seeing. Worth is a gerund verb, okay? It's always a gerund verb, worth. It's worth seeing. Okay, number two, we should have seen a lot of relatives while we were there. Perhaps I should put that, while we were there. Now, this is possibly correct, but it wasn't correct for when my student used it. And I'm sorry to start with your mistakes, Marina. But this, I asked her immediately, did you see those relatives while you were there? And she said, yeah, of course we did. We should have seen them. But that's not what she should have used. She should have used, we had to see a lot of relatives while we were there. Because we're talking about an obligation, and should have is not for obligations. Should have is for criticisms. So when she said it, it sounded to me like she hadn't met her relatives while she was there, but she should have seen them. It's a shame. She should have seen them, but she hadn't met them, unfortunately. But that's not what she meant. She meant, yeah, she did go and see them, and so she had to see a lot of relatives while she was there. It was an obligation, not a criticism of the past, which is what we use should have for. Okay, number three, on this picture. This is something which is a bad mistake to make in the speaking exams, especially when you're a youngster. They very often ask you to describe two pictures, and the most common mistake is on this picture I can see and on this picture I can see. It's possible. If there is a little fly on the picture, then you can say, on this picture I can see a little fly. Look, it's just landed on that picture. But if you're talking about the picture itself and the people or the animals or the drawing in the picture, then you need to say, in this picture I can see a family who are sitting in the forest and they are having a picnic. It's got to be in for what's part of the picture. On means on the surface of the picture. Okay, number four, I liked when Sherlock used the snowplow. This is just a problem with the verb like. It needs an object. It cannot be without an object. So you need to say, I liked it. Sorry about my pen today. I liked it when Sherlock used the snowplow. And then it's a complete sentence. Otherwise it's not complete. Like needs an object. Number five, I'm thinking to learn German. No, it's the preposition of when you're dealing with plans, and I'm thinking of learning German. Yeah, you've got to use a gerund after prepositions. So I'm thinking of learning German. Okay? Number six, he pointed his gun to the victim. It's a preposition mistake. Point at. Point your finger at someone, point a gun at someone. Throw something at someone as well. Aim something at someone. Okay, number seven, they can't afford themselves to go on holidays. They can't afford to go on holidays is correct. Yeah, don't use themselves after can't afford. Don't use themselves after feel as well. They feel themselves. It's another common mistake, but not can't afford themselves. Okay, number eight, it's a common mistake. I don't think I've mentioned it before. A student said Moss counted the amount of staples, and it's not correct because the number of is countable, but the amount of, we use amount for uncountable nouns, not for countable nouns. So we talk about the amount of time, the amount of work, the amount of coffee that you drink, or something like that. But you don't talk about, you talk about number when it's the number of cups of coffee or the number of people. Okay, number nine, he introduced himself like an expert. He introduced himself as an expert. Okay, you introduce yourself as someone. You introduce yourself as David Nichols, or you introduce yourself as an expert, or you introduce yourself as a teacher, or whatever. Okay, number 10, when you will call this number, you will win a prize. I hope you can see that this is actually a conditional sentence, and it's first conditional, which normally looks like this. Now, if you can't see it, it's just because there's no will in this sentence. And even though there's no will, we can use when instead of if, just like a lot of other words, as soon as, before, after, until, unless, in case. There are lots. And with all of these words, you need to use first conditional. So when you call this number, you will win a prize. Just one will, please, over here, and nothing over here. Okay, I hope they're all clear. If they're not for any reason, please ask questions under the video. I hope you like this video, and I hope to see you all soon. Thanks for watching.